The pitch is looped towards shortstop. Petroselli's back. He's got it. The Red Sox win. Pandemonium on the field.
Welcome to the Great American Collectibles Show, brought to you each week by the National Sports Collectors Convention. Join us every Wednesday evening at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and get the latest news from the greatest experts in the sports collectibles world. You can watch us on the Great American Collectibles Facebook page, as well as YouTube, or you can listen to us on Spotify, Pandora, iHeartRadio, or any of your favorite podcast platforms. And now your hosts, award-winning sports collectibles author Tom Zappola and Boston radio personality Lou Blasi.
Hey, boys, how you doing? Lou Blasi, Mike Provednzale from Heritage Auctions. Michael, how you doing, buddy?
So great. It's a great time of year. Yeah,
it's a great time of year. You're going to a goddamn Knicks parade tomorrow. Are you kidding me?
Something I never thought I'd see in my lifetime. So I watched the last game with my dad. And he grew up in Brooklyn, and he said he watched the last game of the 73 title run at his boss's house. He worked at a bodega. He was 16 years old at the time.
I was in college, and when I was in college, it was a big rivalry between the Knicks fans, Celtics fans, that we really literally hated each other. And my college roommate he grew up in downtown. He grew up in Manhattan. And I called him the other night and I said, he started teasing about them winning the championship, blah, 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 blah. And I said, do you realize what their uniforms look like the last time they won the NBA championship? I said, that tells the whole story. That tells the whole story, what the uniforms look like back then. But anyways, welcome to the Great American Collectible Show. Tom Zapp, my co-host for this week, and our producer, Lou Blasi. Mike Provednzale from Heritage Auction is in the house. Lou, what were you going to say?
Hey, I'm not a huge NBA fan, and I would have bet the house. I would have bet the house that San Antonio was going to win Game 5 because I thought the NBA wanted very badly for the Knicks to win it at home.
I think the bookies
and win it at home.
Bookies made a score.
I was shocked that San Antonio won that game. I was absolutely shocked because I didn't think the league. I mean, that the Knicks won that game because I didn't think the league was going to let them.
They had Scott Foster, the extender, reffing the game as well. So
are you a Knicks fan, Pro?
I am. My dad raised me as a Knicks fan, which, I was born in 79.
Yeah.
So when I was a teenager, those 90s Knicks teams, it was easy to be a Knicks fan then, even though they didn't get all the way. But yeah, it's been some rough times. My 12-year-old son, who's going to the parade with me, is very spoiled to get a title at 12 years old.
Let me tell you something, man. There was some that Knicks team that won that last championship, man. That was one heck of a team. And the Celtics-Knicks battles back then, I mean, with you guys, with Earl Monroe and Walt Frazier and Dollar Bill Bradley, Jerry Lucas, Willis Reed. What a team. They had a great team. I
think there's some more Knicks-Celtics battles coming up.
I hope so.
I think the Celtics are going to get Giannis, right?
We're going to see what happens. I'd like to see it, but it depends on who they give up. But I honestly, in my heart, feel that had Jason Tatum not missed this season, I think the Celtics would have done a little better than they did. I really do. And we'll see what happens next year.
I think the Knicks are a perfect example of what the Celtics are missing because the Celtics have no dog. They have no dog whatsoever. They get beaten by teams with dog in them. They got beat by the Heat a few times. Got beat by the Knicks last time before Tatum got hurt. And you just watch this Knicks, and they have Brunson if we had Brunson instead of Brown, for example, team would be completely different. The Knicks have a lot of dog in them. They're just fun to watch.
Yeah, they're I totally agree with you. Totally, they're like a I don't even know what the word is, but dirt dogs. They're dirt dogs.
They're a true team, which is pretty rare in the NBA now, with players switching teams so often, and the playing style where it's more all about the outside, a little more finesse. And the Knicks, this team is a true team. You could see it out there on the floor. They play really rugged defense, which is unique in the NBA currently, I'd say. And living here in Dallas, all my friends that are Mavericks fans, they can't believe that they had Luka and Brunson on the same team, and all that is gone. They cannot get their head around it now.
Hey, Mike, you guys have a busy summer like you always do. You've got a couple of going on right now. You get that sports showcase that's going on right now. When is that end? Is it the 27th of June? Do you know?
Yeah, next Saturday it'll end. It's our June showcase auction. It's about 1,200 items. Great material in there spanning it. And I'd like to give a shout out on that one. There is a kid named Blake Grice who he's just a kid, but he has a podcast, and he started a charity organization, and he reached out to the Washington Capitals, and he got some cards and some Ovechkin cards and some Altered Egos posters signed by Ovechkin, and we're working with him and the Capitals, and there's 2 cards and 2 Ovechkin signed cards and a signed poster in this auction, and the money is going to the Jimmy V Foundation and Ovechkin's charity organization. So we're going to have some items from that collection in our next few auctions. This is the first one, but Jimmy V, of course, great cause, and cool items, and just a cool story. Blake is 13, and he started a podcast, started a charity organization, and this is the first part of it. We were really happy to be involved. As we've talked about on the show, you know, the hobby is getting younger. There's a lot more kids involved, and, you know, a lot of it is them talking about flipping cards and doing breaks. But so really refreshing to see a kid who's doing it all to help others. So yeah, you can find the auction at ha.com. And if you're looking to buy something cool from the all-time goals leader and have every dollar, we're waiving our portion for it. Go to the Jimmy V Foundation. I would say check it out.
Now you have another one coming up in July prior to the Platinum Night, your summer sports card catalog auction. That's typically a big one. That's mid-July?
It just opened yesterday. It'll close July 10th and 11th. It's all cards and some tickets. And wow, it really runs the gamut as far as material. As we've talked about, the hobby's kind of grown as far as sports outside the top 4 sports. And especially right now with soccer and the World Cup going on. So we've got some great wrestling items in there, some great auto racing cards and soccer cards. And then, of course, the standards. There's a really incredible collection of 52 Topps cards, including the big ones in an 8, and a Tom Brady championship ticket. Those are at the top. But it's really a nice grouping of eras and sports.
Mike, you're
Micah with the Patriots.
Go ahead. Would you say, Louis?
His championship ticket, was that with the Bucks or with the Patriots?
With the Patriots. His rookie card, they're numbered to 100. That's one I really like, because when it came out, his rookie year, probably nobody thought anything about that card. And then a few years ago, it became a high 6-figure card, some even going into 7 figures. But I bet there's a lot of people who even might have just thrown it in the back of their binder or even discarded it. This Michigan kid, what's he going to do? But now it's become one of the most coveted football cards that exists.
He was a game manager, Mike. He wasn't a quarterback. He was a game manager.
We are chatting with Mike Provednzale from Heritage Auctions. Lou Blasi's in the house. Tom Zapp. Rico's off today. Rico is on the golf course. Spoke to him earlier this morning. Playing. You know, he kills me. I call him up. What are you doing? What do you think I'm doing? I'm playing golf. And it's like 9:00 and he's muffled. And I'm saying, why does your voice sound muffled? Because I have a cigar in my mouth. So typical Rico. Hey, Michael, I know. Mike, you have your platinum. I mean, at the National, the Heritage Auctions exhibit, and that's what it is. It's an exhibit, is sometimes breathtaking. It's like walking into a museum. Can you throw a couple of tidbits our way as to what are some of the items that are going to be displayed at the National for the Platinum Night auction?
Yeah, it's shaping up. There's still 2 more weeks to consign. If you're interested in consigning our Platinum auction, especially the summer one, has become the biggest event in the industry, and there's always some very exciting items. And the biggest thrill for us is getting to put it all on display at the National. And I'll say we'll have some of it on display at Fanatics Fest in about a month. We're going to be there at New York City in the Javits Convention Center. Our first time at that show. So we'll have some of these items there as well. But, we get to see this stuff all the time, but it is really exciting for us to be able to put it on display, let everybody in the industry get to see it. And at the National, there's over 100,000 people that come through. But we've already got some incredible items. We're talking about soccer, and we have arguably the coolest soccer item that exists. We have the ball from the 1986 Diego Maradona Hand of God game.
Oh my God, are you serious?
Yeah, so interesting note there. So in the game, they were playing England, 1986, the World Cup quarterfinal. Argentina would win. Maradona hit the goal in. It looked like it went in with his head, but he hit it with his hand. Replay would determine later, but no replay during the game. The refs missed it. After the game, when the press asked Maradona about it, if he'd hit it with his hand, he famously said it was the hand of God that put it home. So it's photo match to that goal. And in the same game, he scored an unbelievable goal, arguably the greatest goal in World Cup history, when he went essentially the length of the pitch, faked out 6 British defenders, one of them twice, and scored a goal. FIFA had a poll, and that was voted the goal of the century. This is the same ball as that one. Photo match to that goal as well. Hard to imagine the World Cup using the same ball for an entire game now. I don't think that happens. But the jersey Maradona wore in that game sold for $9.3 million a couple years ago, and we think this ball is on par with that. So we'll have that on display at the National. We also have a T206 Honus Wagner card. Always special to see those.
Another Wagner.
This one is unique. It's a Piedmont back of the, about 60 Wagners are known. Only 3 aren't sweet capital backs, and this is one of them. So that's a great piece. And then we have...
what's the grade on it?
It is authentic.
Okay.
So we're thinking that's going to do about $4 million, given where Wagner's have progressed.
Yeah.
Then we've had a lot of success with wrestling material of late. Last year, we set the record for a wrestling item with the 1982 Wrestling All-Stars set. It sold for $187,000. That was the record for a wrestling item. And then in February, we had the boots that Hulk Hogan wore in WrestleMania 1. That sold for over $1 million. So smashed the record for a wrestling item. Really put the wrestling industry on the map. And I'm happy to say that we have in the Platinum auction and coming up at the National, Hulk Hogan's WWF Championship belt from the 80s will be there.
Now, you obviously we all know that the wrestling freak in the hobby is one Mike Hefner.
Yes.
And, the book that we're writing. Now, you've seen, I don't know if you've ever seen Hef's collection. Have you ever seen his private
I have
collection?
not, but I've heard all about it. I've heard, it's the greatest wrestling collection that exists.
But his entire memorabilia collection is incredible. But his wrestling memorabilia he's got every costume from every wrestler you can think of. But he also has, game used Ty Cobb bats, game used Babe Ruth bats, you name it, he has it. Just an extraordinary collection. So for this book that we're doing, Ellen and I, the greatest finds that you can ever imagine. We went to private collectors. We went to the greatest Scott Island. You know who they are. We went to the great private collectors and we asked the question, What is your one iconic piece that is your Mona Lisa? So you know what Hef says that we're in the book? You know what it is?
It's got to be a wrestling item, right?
It is the hand and footprint of Andre the Giant.
Oh, God, no.
That is his Mona Lisa. Sign.
So the wrestling collectors and fans are so passionate. They were just as excited about the Hogan boots as we were. And, it's great to see their part of the hobby really getting some headlines and some notice. It kind of been on the periphery of the hobby, but there's some amazing collections out there and some amazing wrestling items. And we're excited to see them come out. That's when that sport gets celebrated in the industry, when some really good items come out that are really desirable. And that's what we're looking for. And I love that piece from Hef's. That's so cool. And, for Andre the Giant, there just isn't much material out there.
No, this thing is gold. I mean, it is his piece. He loves it. And by the way,
let's talk about the wrestling market for a minute. And is there a similar modern and vintage split in the market? Because I grew up with Saturday wrestling, like most people, and then I fell in love with it again in the heyday with The Rock and Hulk Hogan and Kurt Angle and Triple H and all that era. And I don't know if the modern day has the same pull, does it? Or it's just because I fell out of it?
It's getting there. It's as popular as it's ever been currently as far as ratings and attendance and things like that. And there's modern card entries for wrestling, just like there is for any other sport now, with auto cards and chase cards and even patch cards with match-worn items. There hasn't been some huge results for those yet, but big results for those cards. And it's growing. So I think that's kind of the next step. We've seen some really crazy prices for those 80s wrestling cards and those 80s items, which is kind of the golden era, that we all experienced. But just like we've seen in the industry with the modern basketball and baseball and football and hockey cards starting to blow up, that's coming up for wrestling as well. They have Louis, a lot of great stars right now.
I think it's passed us by, Lou. I mean, I think that's basically what's happened, just like the modern.
You could jump right in right now.
But I'm saying like the modern and ultra modern card market too. You know what I mean? It's a whole new generation that is every bit as big as when we were into wrestling. Listen, I was into wrestling with Killer Kowalski and Bruno Sammartino, and then that kind of evolved into Hulk Hogan and Randy Savage. By the way, I don't know if you know this, Prov, and we've told this story several times, but Lou and I think we had something to do with the death of Randy Savage.
We were involved, yeah.
Oh no! Should I alert the authorities?
We were doing a show together, and for some reason, I had a bunch of Macho Man drops that we were doing during the show, and I believe the car crash happened during the show.
It did.
Oh,
it was that day. For some reason, we were doing a lot of Randy Macho Man Savage,
and he got killed during the show. So,
well, you two weren't involved. That's just I put that in the same league with when an announcer says the guy's lining up for a field goal and they say he hasn't missed in 3 weeks, and the announcer had nothing to do with it. Same, you guys had nothing to do with Macho Man's death. But I remember that day that that was when those people from your childhood and pass away, it hits home.
Absolutely, there's no doubt.
We've been working with his widow over the last few years, and we've seen some great Macho Man match worn and promo worn. I love it when it's the promo worn stuff.
He was so much fun. He was so much fun.
He was great.
Such a great character.
Hey, Michael, how do you do it? How does Mike Provednzale do? I'm serious, man, because we're talking about all of these events, and you kind of the guy that spearheads all of it, and you really do. My first question is, how many people do you have that report to you?
0. I am not a manager.
Okay, but tell us what your role is.
I guide our group, so we have an amazing team here. So I'm kind of at the nexus of it. Is a good way.
That's what I was going to say. Everything kind of funnels through you.
So people ask me a lot of questions. I wouldn't say any people would say, oh, I report to him. But I work with our catalogers to get the material written. I work with our photography department to make sure everything gets imaged. I work with our consignment directors, the salesmen, when material's coming in, how we're going to promote it, what we're doing on the front end and the back end with it. And then I plan our special events and shows. But,
so what don't you do?
I'm very blessed. We have a great team. And here at Heritage, there's so many resources. We have over 50 departments. So there's a lot of shared departments that everything uses, like photography. When we do shows, there's a team that handles the logistics, the security, the transport, things like that. So we have a good SOP for everything. I love the spot that I'm in because it's like I'm the guy behind the curtain. I get to see how all the sausage is made, but couldn't do it without our team. And our sports department continues to grow. We're adding some new members in the next few weeks that we're excited about. So I would say if you would love to work in the hobby or at an auction house, reach out. We always have spots and we're always looking for new people. In fact, we added a really incredible intern this summer who's been knocking it out of the park the past few weeks.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that because I know that Mike has to leave in a few minutes. You've got to catch a plane to the Knicks parade.
Yeah.
Which is good. And you're taking
Let them enjoy it, Tom.
No, I know. Enjoy it. So we have a special guest that's going to come on for a few minutes. We're not going to keep him the whole rest of the show, but he is an intern. And from what I hear, he's doing a pretty good job, Mike.
Yeah. Have you met him before?
I have. He happens to be my nephew.
How did he get this job, do you think?
I don't know. It's
just hard work.
Well, I'm sure. And I think a phone call to Prov and a phone call to actually you were the key guy I called, man. You were it.
So every summer we have 4 or 5 interns, I would say, and it's always very cool. It's it refreshes your love for the job in the industry to see these kids. I mean, they're not kids, they're adults. But usually they're in college or just out of college, as Drew is. And, they just get blown away. It reminds me of when I started at Heritage, which was 20 years ago now. I looked as youthful as your nephew when I started here at Heritage.
Well, he's got a passion. He's developed from speaking to his dad, he's developed a passion, number one. Kid's a great athlete. He's on a scholarship, a swimming scholarship, goes to Clarkson University. We're gonna chat with Drew. He's a great kid. And you guys have really, and I appreciate you kind of taking him under your wing.
What I like about it is they get to see the other side of it. And working in the hobby is great, but specifically working at an auction house, and we're the 3rd biggest auction house in the world. So, getting to see all the sports stuff is great, but, we have incredible artwork and coins and comics and video games and entertainment at our booth at the National, which we've split with our entertainment department the last few years, and we're going to do that. They have an unbelievable Star Wars collection, screen worn and used props and costumes that we will have at the National. But you get to see all that kind of stuff just, walking to the break room and maybe coming by you heading to photography.
Oh, that's what I was going to say. I mean, can we ask him some of the behind the scene questions? Is that okay?
Of course.
Right.
I think they get a unique look at what it's like. First off, you find out it is a job. It's not just sitting around looking at stuff all day. There is work to do. But, I think when people come in and it's their first few months, they have a great perspective on what a unique experience it is to work at a place like Heritage.
Good.
I wanted to ask you, besides the sports department, what department do you tune into most? Is it entertainment, or is it a particular part of the entertainment? What do you get involved in any of it? Are you collecting any of it?
I am a comics collector. I bought a few things from our entertainment department. They do so well, I can't really afford anything that the entertainment department sells. But I'm also an auctioneer, so I call auctions for comics and comic art, entertainment, silver, modern art, historical department, manuscripts, rare books. We have an auction coming up next week that is celebrating the 250th anniversary of our nation. And we have a lot of historical material in there. I'm going to be calling that auction. So a lot of evolutionary stuff. So it's kind of all in my wheelhouse, and I love that aspect of it. You know, the sports department is my home, but I love getting a little to dip my toe into some of these other departments.
You know, Michael, before we let you go, there's an auction, not an auction house. There's a comic book store in Lawrence, Massachusetts.
Okay.
And I can't remember the name of it. And I think it's gigantic. It's in a big factory. And I think he's a big customer of yours. He buys
I hope he is.
But
we're the number one coin auction house. We're the number one sports auction house. We're the number one comic auction house in the world as well. I started out reading comics. I wouldn't say I collected them very well because I did read them. When I started at Heritage, I brought my comic book collection up here to be evaluated. And Barry Sandoval, who still works here at Heritage, 20 years ago, he told me, I hope you know more about collecting sports than you do about collecting comics, which luckily I did. But I've really gotten into the comic art, which is the original art that was used, that our comics department basically built that industry. And
interestingly enough, just as, before I let you go, this is a little side story, and you can look him up. There was a kid that lived next door to me in an Italian neighborhood. His name was Paul Loretta. And Paul Loretta used to tell us all the time that my father was one of the original artists that designed and that the Superman costume.
Oh, wow.
And of course, we used to say that, you're nuts. You're absolutely nuts. And he used to get so mad at us. So maybe about 20 years ago, I decided to Google his dad, Paul Loretta, and his father was one of the original designers of the Superman costume.
Wow.
So I'm wondering if he has some of those designs to this day.
That would be worth a lot of money. That original art has exploded. And, we've sold 7-figure pieces from that.
I don't know. I've lost track of him. I don't know where he is now.
And
all right, listen, we're going to let you go.
It's not as impressive as that, Mike, but I grew up in Riverdale from Archie Comics.
That's right. He did.
Still impressive.
Haverhill, Mass is the origin of the Archie Comics. That's Riverdale, Haverhill, Mass.
And which Archie character would you compare yourself to, Lou?
Oh, none. Oh, Jughead, maybe.
Yeah, but we know actually Ellen worked. The guy that Jughead, Ellen worked with him. He was a realtor, the guy that they based the character on. And Ellen knew him. I can't remember his name. I think he has since passed. All right, listen, we're going to let you go.
Looking for Betty. That's all I know.
Yeah, I was about to say.
All right, Michael, have a safe trip. We're going to take a quick break, say hi to the guys at Heritage. When we come back, we're going to say hi to my nephew, Drew.
Thanks for having me, guys. Have a great weekend.
You too. We'll be right back.
Staff at Denver's Mile High Card Company have led the charge in the collectibles hobby. Mile High is a full-service dealer specializing in buying and selling cards and offers a competitive consignment program for all collectors. Whether it be their computerized want list service, appraisals, or auction services, Mile High has it all. If you've been searching for a company with a selection of high-grade vintage 1888 to 1970 baseball cards and memorabilia that shares your passion, aim high, Mile High. Go to milehighcardco.com or call 303-840-2784 for more information.
Are you a collector looking for that rare trading card or autograph ball or photo? If so, then PB Collectibles in Newport is the place for you. PB Collectibles has graded cards, raw cards, complete sets, and wax boxes of the stars of the future, today, and from the past. We also offer a large selection of both vintage and modern cards. So whether you're looking to add to your collection or sell it, visit us at PB Collectibles, 269 Spring Street in Newport, located across from St. Mary's Church. We are your neighborhood card shop and much more.
This is Brian Drent, president of Mile High Card Company. Is your sports card and memorabilia collection properly insured? For easily replaced personal property, homeowners insurance is all most people need. But for prized possessions that you may have spent a lifetime collecting, it doesn't go nearly far enough. Collectibles Insurance Services has been insuring for over 50 years. They offer a full range of protection and a $0 deductible at an affordable rate with no appraisals required. I know because they insure my collection. If you have a minute, go to collectinsure.com and learn more about insuring your personal card or memorabilia collection.
Hi, this is Dan from Memory Lane Auctions, here to remind you that the renowned Memory Lane Collectibles Company has served as a beacon of light to the collecting community for the past several decades. Indeed, folks, it has been our utmost privilege and pleasure to provide the most enthusiastic collectors with an abundance of the finest sports cards and memorabilia for America's most coveted sports personalities via our world-class auctions. Whether you choose either a private sale transaction or the auction route, Memory Lane cordially invites you to reach out to us to maximize the value of your prized possessions. To the rest, because if you are seeking a particular keepsake for your esteemed gathering, we will be relentless in our quest to find that special piece to fulfill your collecting dreams. So no time to wait. Reach out to us today for the purposes of capitalizing on our unparalleled marketing capabilities. Simply pick up the phone and dial 877-606-5263. That's 877-606-LANE, or find us on the World Wide Web at www.memorylaneinc.com. Now is the time for your valued consignment to ultimately become another one of Memory Lane's record-setting prices.
How would you like to own the bat that was used by your favorite player when he hit that towering home run or game-winning base hit? Now look no further than JT Sports, specializing in the sale and authentication of professional game-used bats. As the official authenticators of professional model game-used bats for PSA DNA, JT Sports will guarantee the authenticity of any bat purchased from them. JT Sports also buys and sells game-worn uniforms, gloves, and baseball equipment. The unique quality of the collectible is what JT Sports is all about. Give them a call at 609-487-8003 or check them out at GameUseBats.com.
Come on, Louis. That was a tad bumpy.
A little bumpy. Yep.
Not too bad.
Well, we're working on a 1970s computer here. Now that our main computer is
I
down.
know. We're waiting for that part. Net Drew is not here yet, correct?
Andrew's here, but we're having trouble getting his video up.
Okay. So
Let's bring him in. Maybe he can hear us.
Oh.
Can you hear us, Andrew?
Yes, I can.
Okay. Yep.
Hey, Drew, how you doing?
I'm doing all right.
Good. Now, can you kind of walk him through the camera part of it, Lou? No?
Okay, the one thing I would check is up on Chrome at the address bar. To the left of it, there's a camera. It might have a line through it. Maybe uncheck that if it's got a line through it. On the address bar in Chrome up top.
Of course, it brought me to Microsoft Edge, but it says that it's allowing my camera to be used.
All right. You know what we'll do? Why don't we just do audio then?
Okay.
Right.
We could do just audio. Drew, how are you, kid?
I'm doing all right. How about you?
Good. And how do you like it? How do you like being an intern? Because we want to get kind of behind the scenes as to what an intern does. First question I have, how's the food? Do you eat in the cafeteria or do you bring your own lunch?
I'll do a little mix of both. I'll usually make my own, but on days where, I work a little bit later or, I'll go to the gym or pool after and I get home late, I'll usually just eat here. But the food is pretty good. Got a wide selection. Got just some pretty easy stuff, some healthy stuff, some snacks and stuff. But I get enough food, definitely.
That's good to hear. Drew, so what exactly, what does an intern do? I know that you've done a lot of different things. Tell us about some of the things that you guys do behind the scenes.
Okay, so I primarily, myself and the other first year intern, there's 3 of us. One guy who's been an intern for a few years, but I primarily work more on the operations side, but I'll work with the catalogers, writers, those guys, if they need help. So on the operations side, moving stuff from rack to rack, getting stuff put away, bringing stuff to the photo room. But a big part is then like the verification and setting up for auction. So what I'm actually doing right now is, the other first year intern and we have this giant rack of a lot of different sports cards, primarily baseball, but have football, basketball, hockey. There was some really old like rifling and cycling, some more recent boxing, all that stuff. So putting it in order in lot order based off of the auction. And then right now, just the verification, it's, verifying obviously that the card matches and then putting the auctions lot number sticker on just so it can then be sent off after the sale. But what I enjoy doing more is working with the catalogers, the writers, and what I'll do a lot there is with cards and sometimes with sets. I will do the comping, so do my research to figure out what price the card should be sold at.
Very cool. So how does it feel to? I mean, I'm sure you've handled some really, really cool pieces.
Yeah.
Either memorabilia or cards. Is there anything that just stands out? The one iconic piece that's gone through your hands?
Ooh, I think it would probably have to be either on my first day, I was working with a lot of a huge collection of signed jerseys, primarily baseball, but there were some hockey, some football. It was actually a couple soccer and one Federer tennis polo. But on my first day, one of the first jerseys that I got was a signed Derek Jeter jersey, and my favorite player my entire life has been Derek Jeter. So one of my favorite things. And my dad, his favorite player is Don Mattingly, and about a week ago, I actually got to hold a signed Don Mattingly bat.
As you guys probably are aware, Drew lives up in Kingston, New York, and he and his dad are diehard Yankee fans. And over the years, his dad and I have done a little sparring, in good humor, good-natured sparring, but it's been interesting. Lou, did you have a question?
Well, I just wanted, with Drew handling these pieces, I remember when Tom and I did a book signing, we were at the Sports Museum in Boston at the Garden, and we were holding the checks that that Jacob Rupert cut to Harry Frazee for the sale of Babe Ruth. Mm-hmm. And holding that stuff in your hands has a real different feel to it, doesn't it? Just that connection with that history that these people actually touched it to and influenced it. It's really, memorabilia is different in that way, isn't it?
Oh yeah. I'm a huge, both my dad and I actually, but huge history nerd. I'm pursuing one of my degrees is in history. So being able to hold one of Don Mattingly's bats, walking through and seeing some of the stuff that just a lot of signed bats and balls and jerseys. I've even seen a couple actual Gold Glove and even Platinum Glove awards. I haven't seen it fully, but it was in a box. It was I believe it was a World Series trophy from I want to say it was the Rangers 2023. I could be wrong, but just seeing all of that and being immersed in the history and just the love of the sport is
so amazing. Being a history buff, are you involved in the 250 America auction that's coming up for Heritage, which fascinates the hell out of me, actually.
If sports is doing anything for that, most likely I'll be working a little bit with it. But right now we've been working more on just our either the weeklies or the monthly showcases.
Well, it's almost like a memorabilia versus a card. Cards are great. We love them. Everybody loves them.
Yeah.
But the player's DNA is like on the piece of memorabilia. I think that's the thing that's really cool about it. Really cool about it.
Oh yeah.
That's why I've gravitated. As I said many times, my card collection is down to pretty much nothing.
Well, it's holding history. It's literally holding history.
Absolutely, there's no doubt. Drew, I know I'm gonna brag a little bit about my nephew. You are quite the swimmer. You are on a scholarship to Clarkson University.
Right.
And did I read, or did your dad call me that you broke a few records there, or you've tied a couple of records at Clarkson?
Yep, up at Clarkson on an academic scholarship. I have to say that since being D3, there's it's not.
Oh, right.
Yeah, no athletic scholarship, but
yeah, right.
I don't want to get in trouble there. But yes, this past year I was part of 2 record-breaking relays for the 200 and 400 medley, swimming breaststroke for both. We had an amazing season this past year. Each of my last 3 years, we've gotten better each year. We broke several more records. Almost all of the men's team's records have been broken since I've been on the team. And, this past year we were about 50 points off from 3rd place, which would be the highest finish that we've ever had at leagues. Actually set my freshman year, where the past 3 years we've gotten 3 consecutive 4th place finishes, which were all best that we've ever done.
Okay, swimming has a history, of course. So is all these records breaking? Is this new technique? Is this new training methods? Is this new? What's going on?
I mean, it's a little bit of both. I mean, not as much technique since some of the records have been fairly recent. I mean, the medley records, the 400 actually was very recently set anyways. But the 200 was set back in 2020. But we over the past couple of years we have taken down very old records. One of my good friends, Casey Everett, he's our distance swimmer, and he broke the 500, 1,000, and mile records, which were all set 30-ish years ago.
Very cool. Very
and
cool.
Yeah, a lot of some of it's maybe slightly different technique or slightly different training, but a lot of it's also just we decided to go to Clarkson as all swimmers, and we just had the drive, and we just kept working towards it.
All right, so here's what I'd like to do, Lou. I'm going to roll the dice here. Why don't we have Drew? Is it possible, Lou, that if Drew signs off and comes back in, there's a possibility he will come on, or is that not?
We've tried it once, but he can.
I can try it again.
All right, why don't you do that? Because we have a couple of commercials.
The camera was actually up at one point, so.
All right, why don't you do that? Why don't you sign off, because we'd love to see your handsome face. And if we can't, we'll keep you on for a few more minutes anyways. So why don't you sign off? And in the meantime, Lou, I want to talk about our pal, Michael Veriali, and his unique business model, Sports Card, the Hobby. Michael takes pride, and everybody knows Michael. He's been a big follower of the show. Michael takes pride in educating collectors about the ins and outs of the hobby, and will advise you on making sound decisions based on your collecting needs. You can follow him on Instagram at Sports Cards the Hobby, or on Facebook, Sports Cards the Hobby. And while you're there, check out their super rare collection of unique Ken Griffey Jr. signed rookie cards and others. To learn the value of your collection and event schedule, visit sportscardthehobby.com or call or text 631-339-0900. That's 631-339-0900. Educating, buying, selling, and trading is Sports Card the Hobby. And I'm going to give a little shout out to Michael and thank him, because Michael was kind enough. Well, we did a fundraiser up here for Lucy's Love Bus, as you remember, Lou.
Yep.
And Michael was kind enough to donate a signed Ken Griffey rookie card, which was spectacular. All right, let's do this. Let's take a break now, Louis, right? Take a little short break, if that's okay. See if we can get Drew back. If not, we'll continue on. I do have an All-Stars cardboard memory, and we can just shoot the breeze. Hang in there. We'll be right back.
Owned and operated online auction, specializing in autographed memorabilia, sports cards, coins, art, and collectibles. Since their founding in 2010, they've grown to 2 facilities in Phoenix, Arizona, totaling over 60,000 square feet. Jared Cavalier and an incredible staff of over 150 team members serve a very large customer base and enjoy every minute of it. By working with leading authentication companies, Pristine ensures all items are 100% authentic. In addition, third-party authenticators regularly travel to Pristine Auction to provide authentication services on site. Pristine Auction strives to operate its business in a way that's honoring to God, their families, and their customers. With a strong focus on speed, quality, and premier customer service, their mission is to be the leading online auction love collector and fan. Pristine also works for Sports and Identity Hoops International, traveling to Mexico to build houses for the less fortunate. Pristine Auction offers several online auction formats with thousands of auctions ending each day. For more information, go to pristineauction.com. That's Pristine Auction, the best in the business.
If you are a discerning collector interested in owning the most important pieces in the hobby, look no further than Leland's Auctions, the original sports auction and appraisal house. Leland established 1985, legendary trainer Joshua Leland Evans, and today President Mike Hefner carries on their tradition. From the Tom Brady card and memorabilia collection to the famed Boston Garden auction to high-end card auctions from every major sport, Leland's has always maintained the highest standards. Go to Lelands.com and get your bid in. That's Leland's, the hobby's leading sports auction house for 4 decades.
It's often been said that championships are won on the practice field, and world records come only to those willing to work harder than everybody else. Heritage Auctions is the world's largest collectibles auctioneer because we believe that becoming the best is only an invitation to the challenge of remaining the best. This requires the skills of the hobby's top experts, capable of identifying and maximizing value for our consigners. It requires the most visited website in the industry, courting a global audience of collectors over 1.5 million strong. It requires a dedicated press department that expands our global reach far beyond the entrenched hobby marketplace. It's hard work, but a simple premise. Present the finest collectibles to the largest population of potential buyers, and world records will come. We invite all listeners to put the unmatched power of Heritage Auctions to work for you. Auction evaluations are always free, and our commission-based fee structure ensures that our interests are always aligned. The highest possible price for your collectibles. There will always be new world records to chase, so let's chase them together. Visit our website at ha.com and request your no-obligation review today.
Hi, this is Dan from Memory Lane Auctions, here to remind you that the renowned Memory Lane Collectibles Company has served as a beacon of light to the collecting community for the past several decades. Indeed, folks, it has been our utmost privilege and pleasure to provide the most enthusiastic collectors with an abundance of the finest sports cards and memorabilia for America's most coveted sports personalities via our world-class auctions. Whether you choose either a private sale transaction or the auction route, Memory Lane cordially invites you to reach out to us to maximize the value of your prized possessions. Also, it is not just sales that we pride ourselves on being the best of the rest, because if you are seeking a particular keepsake for your esteemed gathering, we will be relentless in our quest to find that special piece to fulfill your collecting dreams. So no time to wait. Reach out to us today for the purposes of capitalizing on our unparalleled marketing capabilities. Simply pick up the phone and dial 877-606-5263. That's 877-606-LANE, or find us on the World Wide Web at www.memorylaneinc.com. Now is the time for your valued consignment to ultimately become another one of Memory Lane's record-setting prices.
Okay, we are back, and I think Drew is still in the dock. I spoke to him during the commercial break, but that's okay. We have a couple of more minutes with Drew. Hey, a programming note, by the way. Next week, we have a great show. As I think I've mentioned a couple of times in the past, we're going to be broadcasting from the National on Friday, the Friday of the National, I believe, on the main Burkus stage from 1 to 3. My co-host this year is going to be Gordy Bonkers. Gordy's a great kid. He's a vintage guy. He's got a huge following, the Gordy Bonkers Show. And next week, Gordy is going to be coming on along with our other good pal, Derek Grady from Heritage. So Derek and Gordy are going to be coming on next week, and we're going to have a few laughs, and it's going to be fun to work with Gordy.
Rico,
anyway,
too, yeah,
and Rico will be here. Yeah, so we're gonna have a full house next week, and it'll be fun. Drew, hey, before we let you go, Drew, a couple of questions. When are you all done? When's your internship done at Heritage?
So my last day is Friday, July 24th.
So you will not be at the National.
I will not.
That's too bad. Aunt Ellen and I were going to take you out to dinner, but you're out. Sorry. What is your perspective now of the whole collecting industry? I mean, walking into this, you really did not know what to expect. I mean, what are your feelings now? I mean, is it eye-opening? Has it been eye-opening for you?
Yeah, it's been. I mean, I've been loving it here. Everything's been great. Everybody's been so nice and accommodating and everything. I wasn't a huge collector by any means going into this, but just seeing everything. I mean, the novelty definitely still has not worn off. I'm going through the cards when I'm either comping or I'm sorting, and I'll just stop and just appreciate either the memorabilia or the cards and be like, wow, I love this player. Oh, this is a really nice card. Oh my God, it's a PSA 10 and it's signed. All that stuff. It's been just a lot of fun.
Well, if I can give you a couple of pieces of advice, from a vintage
I love this
guy,
player. He says I love this player. Drew's like 10 minutes old, so.
As a history guy,
that's what I'm hoping you would say, because from a vintage perspective, I'm a vintage guy, and I'm not a real ultra modern collector. If my opinion has always been stick with vintage, and you can't go wrong, because Babe Ruth is not coming back. Babe Ruth is dead. Ty Cobb is dead. Mickey Mantle's dead. So what you see out there is what you get, and those are the iconic pieces of cards, memorabilia, whatever it is. And even the guys from the 70s, 80s, the Mattingleys, the Jeters from the 90s, that's all great stuff. It really is. I mean, go ahead.
I mean, going off of that with the vintage, we've gotten a lot of Ricky Henderson cards, and he's been one of my favorite to learn about, being just an overall baseball fan. Just love the small ball, love the steals, and he still could hit for power. It's just all
great
all
player.
there. So seeing all those cards, we had a signed. I want to say it was definitely a rookie card signed PSA 9 or 10, and it was like $40K. And
that's a great card. I owned that card at one time. Mistakenly, stupid Tom sold it. However, we had when Ellen and I, it must have been the third book we did. I think it was Legendary Lumber, and we were invited to do it. Lou, you were there the first year at the Hall of Fame with us, correct?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, this was, I think it was the third year, and we were invited to do a signing at the hall out in front there, Lou.
Yeah.
And Ricky Henderson walked by.
Oh God.
And he picked up the book, and we shot the breeze. Myself, Ellen, and Ricky Henderson. He loved the book, bought the book, and we just talked baseball for a half hour.
Oh, amazing!
And it was great. And I was not a big Ricky Henderson fan at the time. You know, I thought he was a little cocky, but he was one of the nicest guys that I've ever met in this as a professional player. Just a very, very nice guy.
Ricky had swag. He had swag. That was
he did have swag, but he could back it up. He could back it up.
I do have to ask now, hearing that story.
I'm sorry?
I do have to ask, since hearing that story now, even in a more casual setting like that, did Ricky Henderson still kind of talk in the third person?
Yes. Yes, he did. He did. He absolutely did. He absolutely did. Yeah. You know what's funny about that day?
Impressive, Drew. Even though you're 10 minutes old, that's impressive.
Exactly.
Oh, I've seen all the interviews, all the stories. I'm blanking on the guy's name. I wish I remembered it for this, but
that's very funny.
That Ricky Henderson, I think it was the only year in the 1980s that Ricky Henderson did not lead the league in steals because he was injured. The leader, he ended up getting 60 that year, and Ricky called him, and he was saying that he got the call, he picked up the phone, and Ricky answered saying Henderson here, and he was like, because Ricky always talked to the third person,
right?
And he's like, oh hey Rick, what's up? And Ricky just says to him, 60 stolen bases, you ought to be ashamed. Ricky would have had that by the All-Star break and just hung up.
And hung up on him. Right. That's funny.
My favorite Henderson story is he was on base with John Olerud at first, and John Olerud wore the batting helmet in the field. And Ricky took a lead off first base and then came back and he said, I used to play with the guy who wore his batting helmet in the field. And John Olerud goes, that was me.
Yeah, that's right. He said that was. I remember that story. Yes, absolutely.
Right.
All right, Drew. We're going to let you go. Luke, are you going to be back? I mean, do you like the hobby? You think you're going to be back next year? Or is there a possibility that you could be gravitating this way at some point?
I mean, I got one more year left in college, so I got to start looking for full jobs. But the way that this is looking out, I've been loving it here. I definitely will be talking to people about what it would mean to be to work here full time.
Great.
And we'll see if I end up coming back.
Good.
Definitely.
All right, Drew. Say hi to Dad. Sorry we couldn't see you on camera. And by the way, folks, he's a very, very handsome kid. Very handsome kid.
Yep.
I can vouch for that. Say hi to Mom and Dad, and we'll talk to you down the road.
All right. Thank you.
Take care. Drew Salmons. He is a great kid. Great kid. He really is. And
great athlete too, apparently.
Yeah, he's a very good athlete. But something, he's one of those guys that, when we were talking and I recommended him, you don't just recommend, especially with a company like Heritage, you don't just recommend, hey, this is my nephew, you know what I mean? Because he really did have to go through a rigorous interview process, and there were no promises made, and we did a great job. So we're all very proud of him.
Every time we talk with Heritage Auctions in particular, and all the auction houses that we talk with all the time, and I start looking at the sites, I think this is what I should have done. I mean, it's got to be a fascinating day at an auction house.
Doubt.
Everything that comes through and all the genres that they deal with.
You never know what you're going to see.
Exactly. What I always said about this business is it's never dull, and I'm guessing an auction house is never dull either.
Right. You never know. You never know what you're going to see. One thing I think you can attest to this. Look, we've met some great people in this hobby over the years.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, some wonderful, wonderful people. It's been a great experience for everyone, for us, for Ellen, for you, for Rico. I mean, even Rico. Let's think about this. Rico, great ball player, all-star, Red Sox Hall of Famer. But I think him getting into this hobby kind of gave him not a new life, but it just kind of exhilarated him, And
have we ever had a miss? In other words, it's fascinating how consistent it is that all the guys we deal with are just great guys. Just obviously very knowledgeable and very experienced in what they do. But just we have a lot of fun with them. We get to be friends. It's just they're all great guys, and it's amazing how consistent it is.
It's been really good. Hey, why don't you tell us about our good friend Tom Finkelmeyer and the Finkelmeyer Insurance Company?
Well, the Finkelmeyer Insurance Agency has been insuring collectibles since the early 80s. The late Tom Finkelmeyer wrote the original sports memorabilia insurance policy when no one else in the industry was insuring sports collectibles. A lifelong collector of sports cards, Tom Sr. instilled the love of collecting in Tom Jr., who is the current president of Finkelmeyer Insurance Agency. Tom Finkelmeyer Jr., with 3 decades of insurance experience, has paired that expertise with 50 years of collecting and with a litany of professional designations, including counseling and risk management. Tom covers every aspect of your collectibles insurance needs. Unlike some companies that just sell collectibles insurance directly to the consumer online, Finkelmeyer Insurance Agency is the only independent retail agent who specializes in sports memorabilia and collectibles nationwide. Representing all major companies that sell collectibles insurance, there's no agent that insures more collectors, dealers, appraisers, auctioneers, or events in the collectibles hobby than Finkelmeyer Insurance. Our good friend and hobby legend John Tobby of JT Sports has been using Finkelmeyer Insurance for over 20 years. For more information, go to thefia.com. That's Finkelmeyer Insurance, where collecting is our passion.
And I want to talk about the Northeast Card Show. 1,000 vendor tables, 3 days. The biggest card show in the Northeast comes to Marlborough, Massachusetts this month.
Nice.
The Northeast Sports Card Expo takes place June 26th through the 28th at the Four Kicks Sports Complex. 3 full days across 150,000 square feet packed with sports cards, Pokemon, TCG, memorabilia, and more. 1,000 tables means a lot to dig through. Vintage cards, modern cards, Pokemon, you name it. Card grading services will be available all weekend, along with autograph authentication from JSA. Plus, meet more than 50 autographed guests. Every paid admission includes 1 free autograph from each celebrity guest, redeemable during their scheduled appearance time. Get your tickets now at Northeast Sports Complex, or you can go into the Northeast Sports Card Expo.com. There's more than just cards. Trade night over 2 nights, raffles, World Series trophies, mascots, food trucks, and more all weekend long. Plus, a different commemorative show poster will be given away free for the first 200 attendees each day. That's a really good deal.
Nice.
General admission, $20. Early entry and super early entry options are available, and kids, of course, get in for free if you're under 12 years old. If you're buying, selling, trading, or searching for your next big pickup, this is the show you don't want to miss. That's the Northeast Sports Card Expo, June 26th through June 28th in Marlborough, Massachusetts. For more information, go to the northeastcardexpo.com. All right, Louis, I think that's a wrap. I think we're just about out of time. Special thanks to our good friend, Mike Provednzale. Special thanks to Drew Salmons for jumping in, although we didn't get to see his beautiful face. And I think that's about it, Lou.
12-year-old to the parade. How cool is that, right?
That's really cool.
Kid
Again, next week we have a great show. We've got Derek coming on, Derek Grady from Heritage Auction, and Gordy Bonkers from the Gordy Bonkers Show. And he's a big vintage collector all over the internet's got a great following. Looking forward to working with those guys. With that being said, Lou, have a great week. And to our viewers and listeners, as always, thank you for all the support and happy collecting.